Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to Thursday and today's stream. No, thank you. Should I put all the work lights on here? Sure puts the class to shame. And as unrealistic as it is, we'll just cut straight through here. Keeps everything fairly straight. I guess I'm doing this job myself, especially since we have so little money left. And a bank balance. So selling the sunflowers in spring should wipe out that debt. And we will hopefully have 3 sales of silage this year. Which will be an improvement over last year where we only got 2 big sales. Plus we need hay. At least I think we need hay. Didn't check. Did I? I didn't check the sheep this morning. Yes, I did. Can't remember. Oh well. We'll figure it out as we go. I know the sheep are fairly well fed, so everything's good for now up there. Didn't check if we had any new sheep though. I'm not sure if they're births start today, yesterday, or late winter. Once we get to cultivating rows, we can have a quick look. Hopeful predictions are about 350 sheep at the end of the coming spring. And once that's happened, that should mean a good plus 200 the following year, which will put us over the 500 limit for a field. I was watching someone's YouTube videos, and I can't remember whose it was, but they were maxing out their cows and figuring a split so that the birthing cows would all go in one barn and the productive cows in another. So that means you only have to collect the milk from one of the barns, at least at the point he's at. Obviously, as the cattle continue to increase, there will be less, fewer non-productive cows, or it'll be harder to tell who's who. I think they stop being productive when they get pregnant. So if a cow says, offspring in 0.7 of a year, at that point, that particular cow's not adding to the milk supply. Should push the pedal far harder. There we go. And I think I will I'll put the lime on the other field and then I will cultivate it as well. Just because I need the cultivating achievement. So we'll churn in the lime into the ground. I think the plan is, as I said, the plan there, that off, is to put, that's wheat. So, okay, we'll be planting wheat in the new field, because wheat's our crop for this year. I think I've said it before, but a little hint, wheat is approximately the same as barley. You tend to look at wheat and say, well, they seem to produce the same amount and they definitely use the same amount of seeds, but barley's always a little lower value than wheat, and the reason for that is barley is actually a more voluminous crop. You get more litres of crop from per acre from barley than you do for wheat, so the value per acre balances itself out. The value per litre in the back of your truck doesn't, but per acre does. So I was watching another YouTuber this week who was suggesting that if you're doing pig food and growing your own, you should concentrate on barley rather than wheat because you get more of it. I can't remember whether he recommended canola or sunflowers. Definitely not soybeans. But I think if you're growing your own, sunflowers is probably better, but you can get more per litre for canola, sunflowers and soybeans than it costs you to buy pig food. So top up with barley, top up with potatoes or soybeans, top up with corn, and then buy some pig food to fill up the other thing. Elmorolo09, thank you for following. Welcome to the stream and happy Thanksgiving. So we'll take this round one more time and then we'll start going up and down the field. Expand the map a sec. Looks like our worker is doing fine. He's going to be there for a long time. Considering the size of that field now. Oh. These were both sugar beet fields. Hang on a sec. Oh no, we did deal with the ploughing on these two fields, so that's okay. We do have ploughing turned on, and so following corn, sugar beets, or the other thing, potatoes or sugar cane. We can't grow sugar cane here. You have to plough the field after a harvest. You don't have to, but you'll get a penalty to production in a year after that until you do plough. I did see some Giants has released a promo video for the soil composition DLC that they're working on. I'm wondering whether there's a couple of options. Either they're going to build in the variable opposite, the variable applicator for fertilizer. So you can adjust how much fertilizer gets put out down on the field. It's either going to be added or it's going to be completely automatic. So that if you have done your soil analysis, it'll tell you what you need to add to the field. So some parts of the field look like, oh, this needs nitrogen, so you need to run a liquid fertilizer over the field. However, different parts of the field need more fertilizer, nitrogen, than other parts, and potentially it can adjust the spray per nozzle so that you get a good application over the entire field, sufficient for each part. Less in places, more in other places. Now that's all to the well and good if you're running equipment like this, you know, brand new tractors, brand new sprayers. But if you're using something like my Fendt, and I don't know if I've got anything, something like that, that has no automatic control on it whatsoever. So you turn the spray on and it just sprays. So I guess if you want to be realistic and do an old world type farm, I need to map on so I can see 277 thereabouts. Maybe not. So if you're doing something like the old stream farm with the old Massey equipment and what have you, you should not. You kind of want to do the soil composition, but don't analyze it, don't do anything like that, because the equipment you have just isn't capable of doing the sort of the variable thing that modern equipment can, tied into GPS and all the rest of it. So sort of load the mod, but don't analyze your soil, and you're basically taking your chances with what's going to happen. Whereas using this farm, I may actually add that DLC, and we'll start doing soil analysis, be a bit more realistic with our spraying and liming and everything else that we're doing. It's just at the moment, I'm really not playing a lot of computer games. So work all day. I don't go to work, I work from home. So it's all a case of, I don't think that's particularly parallel, is it? No. Okay then. That's awesome. So it's just nice in the evening to be able to get up and go in the other room and watch TV. We've just bought ourselves a new smart TV, not particularly extravagant model, just one that does what we needed it to do. And so we can now watch YouTube on it and various other streaming services directly on the TV rather than having our old, what did we have? Not a laptop, a little notebook. We bought a small notebook for some $120 many years ago, just so that we could stream services onto the TV at the time. Well, new home, we decided, we'll get a new TV. which is a bit bigger than our old one. Our old TV was the sort of the spare room TV. Or the spare family room TV. As opposed to the main family room TV. So that's now gone into the basement and will probably be a alternate family room TV down there when we get the basement set up. But I don't have to sit at my PC and watch YouTube videos in the evening. I can actually go into the living room and watch YouTube videos on the TV in relative comfort. I don't have a gaming, well, we do actually have a gaming laptop, but it's really our travel laptop, it's not a main use device. And we're not doing a lot of travel these days because of the obvious. I tend not to watch TV while I tend not to sit in the living room and play computer games on anything. So that's the time I want to watch something and absorb it rather than having a noise on in the background while I'm doing something else, or at least with Farm Sim, watch a video while supervising workers driving up and down fields. Which is how I got so many hours of playtime on Farm Sim 17. I mean, 19, we'd be expecting end of life of 19 if Giants hadn't delayed the release of next Farm Sim. And I don't think I've played 19 nearly as much as I played 17 by a big margin. I mean, I was about 1,500 hours on 17 and I don't think I've even cleared 1,000 on 19. But streaming is, I probably play less because I stream. At least for the first 2 years I was streaming things like World of Warships and various other games as well, so I wasn't streaming Farm Sim all the time. At the moment the only thing I'm streaming is Farm Sim because it's kind of easier to do than most other games I play. World of Warships I tend to play as a, it's 30 minutes till supper time, okay fine, I've got time for a quick battle. Or, we're going out in 2 hours for something, okay fine, I've got time for 3 battles and then we can, then I can get ready to go. But World of Warships tends to be something I can do in like 20 minutes. Or at least 20-minute segments, whereas Farm Sim, once I get started on a job, I kind of like to get it completed. So even when I'm streaming, I will, if I'm halfway through cultivating a field, I'll look at it and say, well, I feel like stopping the stream now because I need to eat, and you don't need to listen to me chewing food, but I'll keep a worker running while I'm preparing the food and eating the food so that the job gets completed. You take a hit on the farm finances, which, as I pointed out we are a little bit tight on because that's borrowed money. But we borrowed the money to buy a field. So if I do need money, I can sell a field and not have lost anything. The risk with buying equipment on money, on borrowed money, is that you end up with, I'm in deep financial trouble and the only thing I've got to sell is the equipment, but then I can't sell the equipment for the same as I bought it, so I'm taking a loss. I haven't watched Arthur's latest video yet, so I don't know how he's doing, but I do know he's budgetarily tight again because he borrowed a ton of money to buy all his starting equipment. Now for people like him and Daggerwin and Farmer Klein, Virtual Farmer, those guys, probably even DJ Goham, they're playing Erlengracht to demo the expansion for people who, on behalf of Giants almost. Some of them get free copies from Giants, and it's really a case of, they are online advertisers for the game. Me, not so much. I don't have the viewership, and I play for fun, not for so much for financial gain.
There's no bruise, but it is like really tight there. How does it go there?
The snowman's dead.
Remember, Mikey knocked off the head of it.
We actually ended up with snow last weekend, which was a bit of a surprise. I'd been watching the weather reports. No sign of snow anywhere, and then we got up Sunday morning and there's a covering of snow on the ground. We had the kids over last weekend, so there was snowman building opportunity as well. We had all 3 kids over, but the 13-year-old boy doesn't stay on Sunday. He goes home on Sunday morning.
10, not 13.
10, whatever. But
I'm 13. I'm the one that's 13.
Okay.
Turning 14.
But he goes home on Sunday morning, so his mum came over, picked him up, bought the snow clothes for the other 2, and they spent the afternoon playing outside. But then we did check the weather report, and we're expecting about 4 inches of snow. So we did suggest to Mum that maybe she didn't want to come back later in the afternoon in 4 inches of snow to pick up the other 2 kids. Especially not since we have the toddler for Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays anyway, usually. She'd have to bring him back the next morning. So rather than doing that, she could skip one trip and pick the 7-year-old up on Monday morning in time for school. So that was not right now. Yeah, that was me. But we, the 3-year-old was kept knocking the head off the snowman, so we had a headless snowman. I think the young child across the road also kicked their snowman over. She was highly unimpressed with their snowman. it was leaning quite badly when they built it, so it wasn't going to stay upright. I think the head had fallen off, so she just kicked the rest of it over.
Remember Yoshi, Neil? The
Yeah.
snowman I made? The snowman? Or she moved it.
Probably.
The night I made her.
Yeah. There's no person.
Almost Billy took her.
So, what else is happening? Yes, so no kids this weekend, no kids, or no 3-year-old for Wednesday and Friday this week.
You have a 13-year-old.
Yeah, but you don't come over.
Yeah, I do.
You're here
I used to.
pretty much permanently.
I wish I had dance today.
No dance.
I wish I had dance. She doesn't like dancing.
Me.
Very weird.
Okay.
Dancing is good.
So we will have, yeah, I'll be streaming this morning, probably until Mrs. Osa gets up, and then there'll be food prep and stuff, although she did most of that yesterday while I was working. Then we'll have to eat and things like that.
And good stuff. And of course watch some reason.
But that, I'm not sure how that sits with me potentially streaming all the time this evening, because obviously everyone's going to be in the house. However, we do now have doors between the dining room and the office, so those doors can be closed and can potentially cut down TV noise for me. Well, Mrs. Osa might have other plans as well, so it's an up in the air thing. Might happen, might not happen. Tomorrow morning I will not be streaming because one of our customers decided, yeah, we want to have a pricing model that you've never done before, and so you need to make that happen for us to stay being a customer, and they're a big customer. So happy Thanksgiving, we want it done by the end of next week. So yeah, thanks, that goes down real well. Especially since tomorrow was supposed to be a company holiday. But no, not happening for me or the other sales order programmer. We now have a whole ton of coding to do over the next week, and so we can't really afford to lose time. So yeah, Friday morning is going to be working. Saturday obviously is the weekend. I will be streaming as usual Saturday morning, and I will be trying to do a deal with my boss to get Wednesday and Thursday before Christmas off rather than just Thursday. The day after Thanksgiving, while it's kind of a company holiday, it's actually the office is open on a skeleton crew, so they require one programmer as technical support on that particular day. But that's already filled. But if you volunteer to do coverage on skeleton, then you get another day off in lieu of the one the company usually lets you have. So you can mess around and sort of, I think one year we had one guy did all of the skeleton